right, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Before we begin today's video on the 5 MSF drills you should know before going into the MSF course, MSF intro course, I just want to thank you all for watching. My views have been way more than I ever imagined, and it's pretty crazy to me. Last I checked, we were at 150 subs, which is not a lot for, some people, but to me that's more than I ever thought, especially way more than I thought I would get in the first month of filming this content. So, really appreciate y'all watching. Really appreciate those of you that are subscribing. If you like the content, definitely subscribe. If not, that's okay, but I hope this video helps you, and the other videos I've posted to help you in some way. But also hope you find it entertaining. At the end of the day, that's kind of the goal with the channel. So needless to say, really appreciate all the early views and early engagement, and hope that continues. But today's video, more importantly, we're going to take these solo cups, we're going to use them as cones, right? A cheap alternative here. And we're going to run through the 5 drills you should know before taking the MSF course. These are going to be the drills that are going to be on that final test. Now, I'm not saying this video can replace the MSF course. This is to prepare you for it. Also, if you're looking for some slow speed drills to do, another great video for that here. If you can practice these, or if you at least watch this video before the MSF course, you're going to be in great shape. If you practice these and perform them successfully, you're going to crush the MSF course. All right, so let's get to it. All right, drill number 1 is going to be the tight turn. So I'm going to go ahead and punch it in first gear. Now, a few things to note before I go into this drill here. I'm jumping right into the drills. Before you start these drills in the MSF course, they're going to teach you the friction zone. They're going to teach you power walking and all that stuff, right? So you're going to have some idea how to move the bike. They're not going to expect you to jump into these. These tests that I'm running through are kind of spread throughout the course, and they're going to be on the final test. These are all the phases of the final test in 2026 anyway. I don't think the curriculum changes that much. So if you're watching this in future years, it's probably going to be something similar. So it's just really beneficial. All right, but the first one here, the way this is going to work, see this kind of sharp turn track I have built here? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to lay out our solo cups, or if you're rich and you have some cones, you can throw out the cones there. No need to spend all that money on cones though if you don't have to, or you don't have them already. Just get a $1 pack of solo cups here. I'm going to go ahead and get the bike moving and just make my turn without hitting the line, this imaginary line here, any of these cups. So let's go ahead and go. I'm going to start moving. I'm going to look through the turn, and I'm going to go ahead and make the turn. Just like that. All right, let's go ahead and run it again. Starting at these front cones here, I'm going to go ahead, get the bike moving, look through the turn, and that's it. Literally going that slow in the MSF course, all right? So that's number 1. You're going to practice that both ways, left and right. Master that, and you are a fifth of the way there. Let's go on to drill number 2, which is going to be weaving. Okay, so we're going to make a straight line with these cups. I'll show you in just a second here. All right, so now we're going to do some weaves. This is kind of self-explanatory here, but the way this works, we're going to create a straight line of either cones or cups, as straight as possible. My line's rather crooked. That's okay. Gonna come from the left side. We're gonna ride the friction zone. Maybe give a little throttle. If you feel comfortable, let go of the friction zone and hold throttle. Right? And we're gonna weave in and out. Simple as that. Potentially way more difficult than it looks. Right? But that's okay. That's why I'm making this video, so we get an idea of what we should be prepared for the course, and we can practice. So I'm going to start from that side so I have more runway. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around here. Go ahead and pop a little U-ey. All right. I'm going to come in from the left, and we're going to weave in and out of these and taking it nice and slow. Everything with the MSF course is all about being smooth. All right. Keeping your feet on the pegs, just like that. All about being smooth. Feet on the pegs. Don't stall the bike, okay? Let's run it from the other side next here. Typically they ask you to come in from the left in my course anyway. That could have been my instructor's preference, so I don't know. But with this one, the tighter you go around these cones, the easier it's going to be for you. All right. If you go wide on one cone, you're going to get this like compounding effect on all the other cones, where you're just going to continue to go wider and wider. Okay. So watch, if I go wide here, if I go wide, I'm going to continue to go wider and wider. It's much harder to pull the bike around how I did it. Right. Much more difficult though. Just stay sharp and kind of slither tight like a snake. All right. We'll run it one more time here. Go ahead and pull around, and let's just get nice and tight into these cups here. Just not quite touching them, right? Almost riding in a straight line, making these slight weaves. All right. So that's what you got to do for that one. All right, let's move on to drill number 3. That's going to be our first higher speed drill, the emergency stop. All right, the setup for this one is quite simple. You're going to have 2 cones where you start, 2 cones where you stop. What's going to take place with this one is you're going to go in first gear as fast as you can, right? They say between 12 and 18 miles an hour. Don't look down at your speed gauge or at your speedometer. Go as fast as you can, and as soon as your front tire hits these cones here, this threshold, you are going to clutch in, front brake, rear brake. Stop suddenly, and then nice and smooth, 1 foot down. All right. The key to this one is not letting yourself anticipate the stop. You're going to want to drive through those cones, right? Stop as soon as you hit them. Do not slow down before they'll dock you points. Okay. So we're going to start with our front tire at this starting point here between these 2 cones. I'm going to go ahead and just go as fast as I can in first gear. And I'm going to, again, demonstrate with the bike in hand now. Clutch in, front brake, rear brake, left foot down. All right? Don't put your left foot down before the bike is fully stopped, because it's going to be awkward. You're going to do one of these numbers, right, and waddle the bike or something. They want that clean stop. Okay? All right. Here we go. Friction zone. I'm going to load her up. Go as fast as I can in this short distance here. Clutch in, front brake, rear brake, stop. Just like that. Nice and easy. The hardest part for me in the test, and when we were doing this as a practice exercise, was anticipating those cups, right? Don't slow down before the cups. It's going to seem logical to slow down before you reach those cups. Don't do it. They're going to dock you. All right? All right, we'll do one more time here. And again, I always like to demonstrate when we practice, even if you don't have a bike yet and you're getting ready for the course and you just want to practice the hand motions of this, you're going to friction zone, throttle up, take off. When you get to those cups, you're going to go ahead and clutch down, front brake, rear brake, stop. All in like a matter of milliseconds. Clutch, rear brake down. Clutch, front brake, rear brake down. Clutch, front brake, rear brake down. Okay? Really fast. So you can just practice that with your hands. Let me throw it in neutral. You can practice that with your hands, right? You're going, you got to stop. You're throwing, going. Clutch, front brake, rear brake. Clutch, front brake, rear brake. Okay? Simple as that. Let's go ahead and do it one more time here, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and crank her on up. Fast as I can. Boom. There you go. All right. Let's move on to the next exercise. That's going to be the dreaded, the feared, the monster that is the slow speed U-turn. All right. So we moved on to a road here. There's no traffic on this road. What you want, you'll notice there's no solo cup set up. The width of the U-turn is about the width of a regular road. So what you want to do with the U-turn drill is either find a road like this, set kind of where you're going to start the U-turn. You can put some cups out there to kind of give you a signal. But the key indicator here is you are turning the bike completely around in a U-turn within a kind of large-ish box about the size of the width of this road. Okay? So you can set the cones up in a large box if you're in a parking lot, or you can just find a street like this and practice this way. Now the key thing with the U-turn, let me go ahead and turn the bike off here and do a walkthrough. The key thing with the U-turn and why so many people struggle with it and why it feels so weird is you're driving the motorcycle, right? You're sitting here at the starting position, you're starting her up, you crank the hog, you start moving forward, right? Boom, 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 boom. Now it's time to turn or the bike around. You're moving in this direction. You need to turn around your head. You need to turn your head around. And you need to look in the direction you're trying to go. Now, this is at first pretty damn scary because the bike's moving forward, okay? But as you turn, one thing that I love about riding the motorcycle and why I think it's so therapeutic is there is this weird mind-body motorcycle connection that occurs, okay? And what I mean by that is when I make a turn to the right, I look to the right first, and naturally my body just kind of goes that way. And the motorcycle follows, right? So U-turn is the same thing. You're moving in a direction, you're turning your head, and your bike's going that direction. Where people stumble is, one, they don't go fast enough, and this isn't a fast exercise, this is a low-speed exercise, but you still have to move enough for the bike to stay on the two wheels and stay balanced. And they get scared when they turn their head around, and they refuse to turn their head, or they turn their head, and the bike starts to lean a little bit, and they immediately put their foot down, all right? If you're practicing this and you feel the bike lean a little bit, just give it a tad more throttle, or just a tad. It'll help you kind of right the bike, okay? If you are doing one of these wobbles, right, and you give throttle, it's gonna be a little jarring, so, straighten your handlebars out first, then give a little throttle. But as you can see just from the description, there's a lot going on in this exercise, okay? So take your time with it, practice it. This is the one I'd say most people have trouble with. And yeah, just be patient and kind to yourself as you learn this skill, all right? So find an empty road or set up a standard box with your cones about the width of a road. You're gonna go ahead, start the bike up. You're gonna start from a position. They're gonna give you kind of like a 3-foot start runway. So you're gonna go in with a little momentum, okay, but a very, very little momentum, not a lot. Still a pretty darn slow speed. You're gonna ride the friction zone, okay? Give it a little throttle. And then when you're ready to start your turn, you're going to turn your head all the way around. Don't worry about that curb, don't worry about the line, and go ahead and turn it around, okay? So I'll do it right here again, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make my U-turn, turn my head all the way around. Don't worry about the curb, trust your body. That's the key piece of this. You have to trust that your body is gonna do the work, right? Make the head turn, your computer is gonna work, okay? There you go. So that's the U-turn, all about the head turn, all about the head turn, 1000% about the head turn. All right, we are almost there. Second to last exercise on the MSF Intro Riders Test. This is gonna be the emergency swerve. Similar to the emergency braking. You're gonna ride from where our bike is on a straight line, fast as you can, and then this is a box truck, okay? So you're gonna go ahead, and once you pass this line, you're going to hold down the clutch and whip the handlebars to the right, pick it back up, all right? Tilt them bars, as I like to call it. Kind of tilt them bars, all right? So you're gonna crank the old hog, fly through here, past the front, my front tire, I'm going to hold it in the clutch, bang, tilt them bars right, bang, tilt them bars up, okay? That's the goal for this one, all right? Remember, perfection is not what you're tested on. You're tested on maneuverability, okay? And not stalling the bike. So, coming up here and not dropping the bike. Swerve, if you feel too scared to bring it back up, it's okay. Just keep going this way, okay? Go wide. They don't want you to do that necessarily, but they'll accept that before they accept you just running through the daggone cones, all right? Or slowing before you get to the cones, okay? So don't anticipate, wait for the front tire to hit the cones, drop them bars, pick them back up if you can, and then this is your layout, right? Pretend it's a box truck, make it about that wide, and you're gonna wanna practice right, you're gonna practice left. This is another thing to mention too. In the MSF course, the instructor is gonna be standing at the end there, and while you're driving in a straight line, they're gonna raise one of their hands, okay? Whatever hand they raise, that's the direction you're gonna go. So you don't know beforehand. Oh, we got some dirt bikers. All right. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's go ahead and start running up again, straight line. We're gonna go right. And again, practice both sides. I'm just gonna go right today, okay? I'll let that cup out there. Ignore that one, that has nothing to do with this one. All right, let's go ahead and crank her on up. Again, we're gonna go fast as we can. They say up to 18 miles an hour, between 12 and 18, all right? So go, 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 go. Gonna go ahead, past the cones, dip. Ooh, did I miss it? I got it, there we go. All right, I anticipated that one a little bit too. Slow down beforehand. But that's the general gist of that one, all right? Let's run it one more time. Gonna go ahead, go, go, go. Clutch in, dip. So you heard that cup drag, that was my peg, all right? So that was some bullshit, doesn't count. Doesn't count. I felt it on the bottom of my foot. But that's the emergency swerve, right? You find that obstacle and you whoop, dip, and come back, all right? But all right, let's move on to the last portion of the test. And that's going to be the S-track and the going at a high speed in a straight line, all right? 20 miles an hour is that high speed there. All right, so this is the setup for this one, all right? Quite simple, again. The scale in the MSF exam is going to be a lot larger. You're going to start from where you're looking at my lovely bike here, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to take off. When you take off, you want to be moving. They want you to hit about 20 miles an hour for this one. You're going to have much more runway than this, so it should be easy to hit that mark. But let me tell you something, okay? If you've never ridden a motorcycle before and you were taking the MSF course without riding beforehand, it's totally fine. It's meant for that. You are going to feel potentially a little scared the first time you go 20 miles an hour, and your body is going to tell you, what are you doing? This is super dangerous. You have to get comfortable with those speeds. The one individual that failed in my cohort failed because she refused to go fast enough for them to grade her, all right? She was completing all the exercise as well, but she was too afraid to go beyond 15 miles an hour. So just be ready for that initial kind of adrenaline fight or flight feeling the first time you go above, 15, 20 miles an hour. It can be quite jarring for some folks. I would just say, just prepare yourself for that. You are gonna have to pick up the speed. All right, I'm not trying to scare anybody. The MSF course is not crazy difficult. You're seeing the final test right here. I'm showing you what I went through for the final test, right? Stuff is not necessarily easy if you haven't practiced it before, but it's doable. It's doable for sure. All right, it's designed for you to pass and get your license, but prove that you can do so safely, okay? And part of being safe on the road is being able to drive the speed limit. So this is the S-track here. So as I just kind of walked through that, I was kind of getting long-winded there. You'll start from where my bike is. You'll drive up as fast as you can in first gear. You can pop in a second if you want to. When this is short range here, so we're not going to today. I'm going to go ahead and turn wide, jump into the S-track, and I'm going to go through the S-track. And then that's it. You completed the MSF final exam at home. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, sitting on the hog here. I'm going to go ahead and get in that friction zone. Feel the bike trying to move forward. I'm there. Go ahead and give it some throttle. I'm going to go as fast as I can in first gear in this short distance here. Then I'm going to turn wide and go to that S-track. All right. So let's go ahead and go. Go, go, go. Move, move, move. Now from here you can slow down. And you're going to turn around. Again, look through your turn as always. And now you're going to hit that S-track. These will be lines painted out on the floor. And you can go as slow as I'm going right now. Boom, you just completed the final exam of the introductory MSF course, all right? So let's run through it one more time. I'm gonna go ahead, get in the friction zone. Fast as I can, fast as I can, fast as I can. Slow down before the turn. That one's not an emergency stop, you can just use your front brake. And now I'm feathering the friction zone, feathering the clutch. And I'm weaving in and out, and I'm taking my time, okay? And boom. All right. So that'll wrap up the exercises. You may notice on my clock when I start the next one, it's going to be, or you may notice on my clock that this one is earlier than the exercise prior to this one. I forgot about the emergency swerve. I'm going to edit that in before this one. But this is the final exercise of the test after the emergency swerve. From there, you know, like I mentioned in my last video, you'll go take your written exam and you will have passed the exam. So if you feel like you have a good mental handle on all these exercises I outlined today, if you have a bike and can go practice this stuff beforehand, you know, highly encourage you to do so. Find an empty parking lot, find a place you can do this stuff. Let me rephrase that. Highly encourage you if you have a manageable motorcycle. If you're riding something like a Honda Goldwing, or you're riding something like a, I don't know, a heavier bike, something above 600 pounds, maybe wait until the course so the instructors can help you out. You can ride a lighter bike. Or go with a friend that can help you pick up your bike after you inevitably drop it. All right. But cool, we're gonna go hit the road here. I gotta pick something up from the pharmacy. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about some things that people had called out in the comments about the MSF course, and give you some of my final thoughts there. But yeah, let's go ride. All right, y'all, so a few things I wanna cover. First is, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. Growing community here, and it's been a lot of fun recording these early rides and lessons I'm learning, so, and sharing them all with you all. So again, if you found it helpful, great. If not, you know, I hope at bare minimum this helps you, you know, do well in your MSF course, pass it, and get that endorsement, baby, and I'll see you on the road. All right. For the other stuff I want to cover, some stuff people called out in the comments. The first was a comment about one exercise that I have not covered in either of these videos, the one I made today and the initial impressions of the MSF course. And that is the 2x4 drill. So this is a part of the MSF course. A part of the drill is, or part of one of the drills is, you're gonna have to go about 15-ish miles an hour, and you're gonna have to run over a 2x4 and flip throttle right before you hit it, okay? I guess it can be panic inducing. It felt pretty normal to me. You're just riding over a bump. But I guess, you know, if you're kind of timid on the bike, that could be a pretty scary thing. So just want to make everybody mindful of that. That is not a part of the exam though. Want to call that aspect out. You will not be tested on that. Okay. So that's that. The other piece that another commenter called out, that this was, I was completely unaware of the 2x4 thing. I just forgot, but this I didn't know. The Harley-Davidson courses I talked about that cost $350-ish, those come with special benefits that I was not aware of. So you can get a steep discount on motorcycles apparently, and gear, as well as some other stuff. And you get an extra day of the MSF lessons, I believe. So something to look into there. If I had known that before, I probably would have just dropped the money on the Harley course and got a bike, depending on how steep that discount was. So again, just want to make you all aware of that. If you didn't read the comments, but you are watching the video, that's a real thing apparently. All right, and the last piece I want to close out with here, and probably the most important one, this video I made today, you know, with the cups and cones, this is not meant to replace the MSF course. This is meant for you to get an idea of what to expect when you get there. I'm giving you the answers on the test, basically, but I still want you to go take the test, right? So definitely still take the course. If you're doing the drills that I outlined and you're a new rider and you're like, oh, shit, I got this, right? I don't need to take the course. Please don't do that. Practice that stuff, get good at it, go to the course, and it's going to be easy for you, and you're going to have fun, and you're going to be able to have fun. You're not going to be stressing about the content, and you're going to meet some cool folks in the process and get some good feedback from your instructors. So yeah, you know, still take the course. This isn't meant to be a replacement for that. I just want to kind of help folks out so they know what to expect, because before I took the course, everything was a surprise to me when I got there, right? And especially for those riders that have never ridden before, it's going to be their first time riding. So give them a good idea if, one, it's worth the investment, and two, what to expect when they get there. But y'all, that's going to do it. I appreciate you all watching. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Yeah, I look forward to you all tagging along on the next ride. About to approach 1,000 miles here soon. We're gonna drop a video on that, and as well as some other topics that I'm excited about riding. Yeah, I'll see you all on the next ride. Peace out.